Okay, I'm going to be talking about networking today. My name's Jennie Gorman. I'm known as a people connector, and I started networking and teaching networking back in the late 80s. And the reason was because at that time I was working with natural health practitioners, and I found a lot of them were, they had very, very good skills, but they couldn't make it in business. And they couldn't make it in business, and the reason being is because they didn't know how to put themselves out, because they're what we call a creative style rather than a people person. So I developed a program at that time to teach people how to network, how to build business relationships. And I had that business from 1989 through until 1995, when I then went into change from My Connections, which that was the name of my first business, to Connections Unlimited. Because I recognised that there were small business people out there who weren't practitioners who were struggling exactly the same. And I find now, here we are in 2013, and people are still struggling because they don't understand how to build business relationships. I'm really passionate about helping people actually make their dreams come true, whatever it is they want in their life, and especially for small business people, to actually have it happen for them, what they really want. So I love to support small business people and to actually show them that business is fun and how to do business in their passions, so they're there no matter what the times are like, and especially in the tough times. And for small business people, I assure you, business is tough. So if you're not doing your passion, you're going to find your business isn't going to do very well. Everybody here love what they do? I've learned by a lot of hard work and a lot of experience over nearly 30 years about how to actually create a business and make a business work. So in these days we have the internet, so it's much easier than it used to be in the old days. I started long before there were even faxes. So we had telex machines in those days, so it is a long, long time ago. So the most important thing is to get you to understand what networking is. We network all the time. We're selling ourselves all the time, and most people will tell you they're not salespeople. But you wouldn't get out of bed in the morning and shower, clean your teeth, and put on your clothes to go out the door if you weren't selling yourselves. So you have to remember you are selling yourselves all the time when you're in front of someone else other than yourself. Networking is about building relationships. It's about giving to other people without expectation of return. And that's one of the biggest things I find with most people networking. They go out there thinking, I'm going to put lots of business cards out there and business is going to happen to me. It doesn't happen that way. You've got to build relationships with people. You've got to be out there, you've got to be seen, and you've got to build trust. And if you don't build trust with people, you're not going to get business, especially in this day and age. Social media has changed the whole platform of small business. Well, the internet really has, but social media in particular, because you can find anything out about anybody, anytime, and it's 24 hours a day. You don't have to be in front of someone to find out everything you want to know about them. So networking is about relationship building, connecting with people, supporting other people to gain what it is they want to gain, creating and finding your own niche market, and where you need to be. So you've got to find like-minded people who are going to be interested in what you're doing. It's about developing friendships, it's about networking, and here again, Give Us Gain is all about what is it I can do for you. One of the most important things is that you understand why you're networking. People network for different reasons. When I started to network, I did it to get a profile. In those days, I had no idea what that even meant. There was just something intuitively telling me that's what I needed to do. But if you're doing it to build a career, to earn more money, you want to get a profile, you want to gain an influence out there in the community, no matter what it is, you're going to network differently depending on what your reason for networking is. So if you don't understand why you're networking, and it's a skill that anybody can learn, it is a learned skill, it's harder for some than others. If you're an introverted person, it's going to be much harder than if you're an extrovert. So it's really important you know why you're actually networking, so you go into the right niche market. When should you network? Every opportunity you have. I believe networking is 24 hours a day. For me, it's 24 hours a day, because we have the internet, which means I can talk to someone 24 hours a day. I don't start talking to overseas people that I do work with until about 10 or 11 o'clock at night. That's why for people who know me, who I'm on the internet until 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, that is because I've got clients the other side of the world that I need to talk with. So you're networking all the time, building relationships, and we get that opportunity now. Listening is the other thing that is really, really important in networking. As I say to people, the word listen and the word silent have the same letters in it. Networking is about listening. It's not about what you do, it's about what somebody else does. So the aim is for you to, everybody you meet, find out as much as you can about them. It's not important they hear about you. Most people who are networking are in such a hurry to educate everyone else about what they do. The other person's not interested, I'm sorry. You have to build a relationship with someone else. So if you can find out as much as you can from someone else, you will build that relationship. It's not about going out, networking is not about going out, putting out your card, then thinking you get business. You will not get business that way. It doesn't work that way. Occasionally, for the odd person, if somebody comes along and they've been given exactly what that person is wanting at that time, yes, it can happen. And if there's that automatic synergy. People buy people, they don't buy what you do, or very rarely. So they'll buy you first because they like you, they trust you, they feel that they can trust you, and then they're going to want to know what your product is. It's also about looking for the common ground. So when you're networking, it's about finding your niche. And this is really important, because if you're networking in the wrong marketplace, your business isn't going to work. And when you're new in business, it takes a while to really find where your niche market is. And of course, there's a lot of things that Jenny said earlier that are really, really pertinent. And you have to dress for your market. You have to present yourself for your marketplace. So you need to know where that marketplace is. Places where you can network? Everywhere. I say to people, if you go to the corner store, do not go without a business card. Don't ever be seen without a business card. It's the greatest thing to learn about anybody if they don't have anything on them. You never know who you're going to meet. And it's not for you, it's for somebody else. So if you're a listener and you meet somebody going to the gym, or you go to the corner store to get some milk, and you happen to hear a conversation of people you don't even know, or you're talking to somebody who's serving you, and they'll say, I'm having a really rough day, I've got a really bad back, or a plumbing problem at home. Doesn't matter what it is. If you're connected out there, straight away you're going to think, can I help you? Do you need a chiropractor, or do you need a naturopath, or do you need a plumber? Be of service to other people. That is networking. Not about taking, about giving. You do it everywhere. I'm not going to go through those because you can all see them from where you are, I gather. Business cards, and as I said, almost everywhere. There's nothing worse than someone who wants to shove a card in your face. Your business card is the most important tool you have as a business person. It is your shop window. You treat your business cards like gold because they are your gold. You will be judged on your business cards, the size of the writing on your business cards, and as I always say to people, if I can't read it with a magnifying glass, it goes in the bin. And let me tell you, probably 50% of business cards I get go in the bin because I can't read them with a magnifying glass, and I haven't got glasses.
With or without.
And I don't have glasses on, and I don't have contact lenses in. But if I can't read it with a magnifying glass, sorry. You've got to remember that with business cards, and I can talk for 3 or 4 hours on business cards, There's a lot about etiquette with cards and that sort of thing. But it's really important that you're very aware that a graphic designer will always make a pretty card. Anyone here a graphic designer? Okay, we talked about this the other day. Graphic designers are all in about having a pretty card because they want it to look pretty. Your card has got to work for you. It's your shop window. It's got to be serviceable. People have to be able to read it. It has to represent you. You must have your photo on it. If you're in small business today, you must have your photo on. Branding is important in business. You have the same photo in every Facebook page you've got, in LinkedIn, every profile in social media. I've got 18, 19 social media sites alone. And that's not going to in websites and everything else as well. It's the same photo. It's the same photo on my business cards. I have different business cards for different businesses. I'm seen as the same everywhere I go. Those 7 seconds that Jenny was talking about earlier will be taken off when you do a first face-to-face with somebody, if they know what you look like. This is where social media is so valuable, because people will see you and say, I know you, we're on Facebook together. I see my face everywhere. Yeah, they do. If they're on a few of my things, they get to see a lot of me. Because I'm branding the whole time. I'm my brand. If you're in small business, you're your brand. Even though it is very important that you build your brand bigger. I always said in business, going back in the 80s, as long as it's my business name, my logo, or my face, I don't care which one. Now, I'm someone who's never put myself out there from a face. I have no photos with my children because I hated having my photograph taken. So I destroyed all the photographs when they're coming because I didn't like them. I'm very sorry about that now because my kids are in their 40s and I'm really sorry that I don't have photos of when my kids were little. But I realise now how important that is. It's not matter. Nobody's perfect. You're who you are and you have to come through. So those first 7 seconds that someone's going to meet you face to face, if they know what you look like, that prejudgment's gone. Really important. Benefits of networking. There's so many. Depending why you're networking, as to what the benefits are going to be. Aware I don't have a lot of time. Goal setting. Goal setting is really important. How many people here actually goal set? Okay. Do you goal set your networking?
Thanks to Jenny.
Networking is a skill that you learn and it is learnable by anyone. You have networking goals just as you do with anything else you do in business. You know, we have goals for everything. If you're a smart goal setter. It's really important that you understand what you want from your networking. What do you want short term? What do you want medium term? So what do you want in the next few months from it? What do you want in 6 months? What do you want in 12 months? Where do you want to be in 3 years? Where do you want to be in 5 and 10 years? What are you doing your networking for? If you don't know why you're networking, don't waste your time, money and energy, because that's what you're doing. It's really important that you think about it. I'm happy to talk to any of you if you want to about this later. When you set a goal also, the most important thing is that you write the actual date. So the 2nd of March 2014 as to when you want to accomplish it. If you don't put a date and a full date, if you just put a year, if you don't put a full date down as to when you want to complete that, it won't happen, or won't happen as easily. As I said earlier, your most important tools. Business cards are your most important tool, along with your database. If you don't have a good CRM, if you don't have a good relationship building database where you have all the information you need, you may as well not be in business. You have to learn how to actually use a database, and that's another big subject in itself also. But every business card you collect, if you don't do something with that, you wasted your time, money and energy again. You have to be able to express who you are and what you represent very, very quickly, very easily, with very few words. If you come to my events, as John will tell you, you will be given name, business and one sentence about who you are. how many of you here can actually say in one sentence who you are? Really important. You've got to be able to, people don't have an attention span. When you're talking to anyone, they're too busy thinking about what they're going to say when they can get a chance. So you're not there so much for you, you just get that message, one sentence or whatever across very quickly and ask questions. It's all about asking questions. If you want to be out there, you need to become a speaker and you've got to become the best or the expert in your field. Whatever it is, it's really important that you believe that what it is you do, you are the best out there. Because if you don't believe that you are the best, you shouldn't be there. And if you're believing you're not the best, you've got to start learning a little bit more about it. And you can find everything you want about any subject on the internet. So it doesn't have to cost you money to do. Your website, of course, social media, and your follow-up and showing appreciation are very, very important tools that you have in your business. Quality cards, as I said before, are really important. Outdated cards are unforgivable. There's nothing worse. Somebody yesterday gave me a card and he scribbled out half the information, said it's all wrong. I gave a talk last night and I must have had 10 people come up to me afterwards. There was quite a lot of people, about 80, 90 people there. And I must have had 10 people come up and say, is my card okay? Because your card is so important. I'm going to judge you on your card, as most people will. Because if your card isn't telling me what I need to know, why am I going to make contact with you if I'm meeting a whole lot of people and I don't remember who you are because your photo's not there to remind me? If I go home with a whole lot of cards and there's a photo there, I'm going to remember that person. And I'm going to go and search that person on the net. And I'm going to find out what I can about that person and I'm going to put that in my database. And if I've had a memorable conversation with them, that's also going to go in my database. I'm going to remember if someone's died, they've had a baby, they've just been overseas or are about to go overseas or whatever, because that's pertinent to me for building a relationship with them if there's someone who I'm putting in my database because I want to build a relationship. Social media. I'm really pushing through. How much time am I going to my side? Thanks. Social media is really, really important. It's immaterial whether you like it or you don't like it. There's no choice today. The net is in our life, whether we like it or not, and so is social media. But you have to work out what are the platforms that work for you. Depending on, and that is totally dependent on the marketplace you are trying to pitch to with what your business is. So whether you're someone like Jennie, of course, would be pitching more to, would be LinkedIn, more to a business, corporate marketplace. It's not saying she's not going to work in other marketplaces. When you're working with LinkedIn, how many people here are on LinkedIn? Okay. LinkedIn is professional. You have to be seen as professional. You do not small talk. And you must have a site that's not what's called a derelict site. Because if somebody goes to you and it's a site that is not updated at least once a week and there's not information, it's not growing. Most professional people won't look at you if you don't have at least 500 people. And it doesn't tell you what they've got after 500 anyway. Because they want to know you know. So you must get testimonials on your site. Facebook is brilliant because it gives you the opportunity to have conversation and really learn about someone. You're limited to what you can learn with LinkedIn, but the one advantage to LinkedIn is that you can get to the CEOs very, very easily without having to go through a gatekeeper. So if you're wanting to hit that end of the marketplace, LinkedIn is perfect for getting to the people you want to get to. Meetup groups. Do you all know about meetup groups? Okay, Meetup is brilliant. And I suggest Twitter. Some people really like Twitter. I'm on Twitter and I'm on so many times a day. If you've got to make Twitter work, you need to be on at least 22 times a day. 22 hours. Once an hour for 22 hours. There are ways to do that, if that's what you like. I can't say in 140 characters what I want to say. It's very hard. The most important thing when attending events, there's 3 things you need to remember. What you do prior to the event, and that's your goal setting. Why are you going? What do you expect? What do you want out of it? The next is what you do when you're there during the meeting. And the aim is to do whatever you set yourself as a goal to do. You do not leave until you achieve that. And then it's what you do after the event, which 99% of people don't bother with. And that's your follow-up. And if you haven't done follow-up, here again you've wasted your time, your money and your energy. Because why go if you're not going to start building some relationships? Here again, depending on why you're going to, but most people in this room would be networking because they want to develop their businesses. So there are different ways you make contact with people. It is totally dependent on whether you want to meet somebody again, whether you want to have coffee with them, whether you want to have dinner with them, whether you want to have a drink with them, or whether you just hope you might see them at another event. So how you actually correspond with somebody is going to tell you a lot once you understand how to do it. So for you, you have to be very clear on how you do that. The most important words in networking are trust, integrity, gratitude, and thank you. And as Jim Rohn said, things that are easy to do are also easy not to do. And most people don't do the easy things. So why are you networking? What's your reason? Is it because of an experience you've had? Is it because you want to meet your next customer? Is it because you want to find out who your next boss is going to be if you're out working there? Because small business is not for everybody. And it's really important. There are people who just are not meant to be in business for themselves. They can follow their passion and do what they need to do working for someone else. So you've got to know here why you're networking, and you've got to be prepared to listen and support other people. So in closing, don't wish the world was easier, wish that you were better. And that's a saying from Jim Rohn. Thank you.